Hey, thank you for joining us. We are revisiting the Mania, a WrestleMania rewatch podcast. She's Maria, and I'm Carlos.
Are you Carlos?
I was about to... And with us here, we have a guest, our first time to the podcast, John Beatnik from
And it's funny.
the Minority Sports Report.
Appreciate you, man. Thank you for having me. I also go by Big Black. It's 3 names for one large black person. But anyways, thank you for having me on the show. I love wrestling. And I'm just ready. I'm ready. Let's kick this thing's ass.
All right. Awesome. So we are going to be revisiting WrestleMania 27 from Atlanta, Georgia.
Well, first of all, let me take a drink of this water. Because this is not any water, it's the people's water.
Oh my God.
I was wondering where that was going.
Oh boy.
Yeah. Before we dive into WrestleMania 27, John, or let's get yourself
some background
and introduce yourself to the people who may have not seen any of your stuff before or do not have any idea who you are.
Oh, I'm sure they haven't, and I'm sure they don't. It's totally fine, but yeah, what should we talk about?
Since we're a WrestleMania rewatch podcast, my first introduction to WrestleMania and wrestling was WrestleMania 1. So what was your introduction either to wrestling? Was it like a Monday Night Raw? Was it a WrestleMania event? Where does your wrestling story start?
Oh, man. So I actually talked to my mom about this recently. My uncle was a wrestler when before I was born, but some of my earliest memories were watching my uncle wrestle. And this is my blood uncle, and then one of my uncles through marriage was his manager, and they would do local stuff in Boston. That's where I'm from originally, Boston, Massachusetts, currently in Denver, Colorado. But yeah, so I remember seeing my uncle wrestle Zeus and Tony Atlas, and those were just the guys, and it wasn't until years later I realized oh shit, my uncle was plugged in. So that, and then being with my grandma, she would always watch wrestling. Which she would call it. So it's always been a part of my life. First WrestleMania, that I can vividly remember. Oh, God, I think I was in the first grade, so that would have been 92.
Wow.
It was outside. I can't remember the number, and I should have looked this up before.
So it should have been WrestleMania 9.
I think it was 9.
The first one that was outside.
Yeah. That was the one.
Caesar's Palace.
The Caesar's Palace one. I vividly remember that, and I'm sure I watched them before, but that's the one that I was like, "Oh my God, wrestling is amazing."
Yeah, that was pretty good.
Yeah,
awesome. Do you have any favorite wrestler at that time that made an impression on you, besides maybe a Hulk Hogan or Lex Luger or anything? Since that's the first one you remember.
No, actually, my favorite wrestler of all time from day one was Jake the Snake Roberts. And I didn't know he was a heel until I was an adult. I was like, wait, he was a bad guy? They're like, yeah, how did you not know that? I'm like, I don't know. I love snakes. And he had a snake. So I wanted to be like Jake the Snake. But yeah, Jake the Snake was my guy. Him and Macho Man at that time period, but definitely always been a sucker or mark for
guys with snakes.
Big old snakes, gotta love it.
Awesome.
And then Hacksaw Jim Duggan was my guy too.
Okay, awesome. So it's pretty cool. You got to be with this one where we get Hacksaw Jim Duggan inducted into.
I know, that was tight. I was pumped when I saw that because we'll get to that later. But yeah.
So one more thing before we get started into the event here. Mm-hmm. Now you have your own podcast. How long has that been going on for?
Oh God, I've been doing this podcast on and off for probably 12 years now. It used to be audio only, and then I would share it with friends, and then took a break and then came back. But now we just do video exclusively. This video incarnation's been going on for about a year and some change, I think.
Awesome.
So maybe 2 years. After I had a kid, I don't know. And COVID happened. Like my time is all. I have to like look at the timestamps. Like I don't really remember.
Yeah, I feel the same way. I've been telling her I've been like losing track of like just what day is it? Oh, I got to do this or I got to do that, and I'm like,
for real.
Like now we're approaching WrestleMania 40, which we'll be attending, and now it's like that's only 12 days away.
Yeah, it came up really quick.
Ooh, that's tight.
It's, you know, we've been talking about it for so long, and now that it's here, we're just like, okay, well, now we got to get ready for it. It's just a few weeks away.
Yeah.
So what is it? 10 days?
12 days.
12 days and counting.
Yeah, first.
Ooh.
Yeah.
And I think it's appropriate because this WrestleMania that we're talking about features The Rock, and we should be seeing him.
Yeah,
so.
it's just weird how everything is lining up. Like
that is odd.
we started this podcast primarily because we were watching. We went to go see Warrior Wrestling, which is a local indie around Chicago, because they were gonna have Hijo del Vikingo, and we weren't sure. Anyone like who was a fan of him wasn't sure if he was gonna be able to wrestle on TV because of the contract that he has with AAA. So I'm like, if I'm never gonna be able to see this guy on TV, he's gonna be wrestling like 10 miles away from here. Let's drive over there. We'll see him. And then I liked her little like quips and little like things that I had to explain to her and her little remarks. And I was like, have you ever watched WrestleMania 1? Because that's how I got introduced to wrestling. And she's like, no. And I was like, well, let's watch it. It helped made me a fan. So we started that. And then she started watching it. I was like, you want to record a podcast? And she's like, sure. And here we are, 27 episodes later and 4 bonus episodes later.
Yeah.
Nice.
When you talk about Jake the Snake and was it Macho Man?
Yeah.
Those are some of my favorite wrestlers, and it's to this day, like some of my favorite wrestlers are still the old school wrestlers. So
yeah, I have a soft spot for old folks, old wrestlers, I should have said. I have a soundboard with Macho Man on it. And I don't see if it works on this. I don't know if you heard that, but
no.
I have so many goddamn sound effects, but I'm with you. The old school wrestlers are they're cool. Real quick, I didn't tell you guys about this. I have an original pack of WrestleMania 3 bubblegum and cards, stickers that
I remember those.
We can open them if you would like to. And
hey, they're your cards if you want to open them.
That is pretty awesome.
I might even eat the gum. Just
oh, please don't not eat the gum. Do not.
We got to get views, man. We got to get
views. That means the gum would be how old?
Yeah, no, this is original pack. I think 83.
That is awesome.
No, not that old.
Should be like
maybe 87. Yeah, 87. Yeah. So I was 1 year old when this came out.
Aw, you're a baby.
Oh, baby.
Yeah, we definitely didn't want you chewing that gum like back then.
Not at 1, no.
Not at 38 either, but I'm gonna do it because I'm an adult and I make my own choices.
That's true. It's like now that we're adults and you can have anything you want, you're like, yeah, but I can't always have like an ice cream for breakfast.
I mean, I could have an ice cream.
Right.
Should I?
Is that a good decision?
Oh boy, I love it. I love it.
This tagline for 27 is the biggest WrestleMania ever.
Hey, that's funny because WrestleMania 40 is supposed to be the biggest WrestleMania ever.
Really? Is that the tagline?
Yes, because it's the Roman numerals make XL. So that's why they're going with it's the biggest WrestleMania ever because it's an XL.
We're doing the same tagline. That seems kind of unoriginal to me.
Hey, well, I can't really blame Vince now because Vince isn't here. So that falls on Hunter and TKO.
And it's their company, and technically they've never done it before. So no, I'm with you. But The Rock is back though.
He is. I'm so excited.
So that's why it's going to be the second biggest one ever, or the second coming. Anywho,
yeah, we'll figure it out. Anyway, here we get our first match. Alberto Del Rio, the 2011 Royal Rumble winner, versus Edge, the rated R superstar, for the World's Heavyweight Championship belt, Big Goldie, as I like to call it. Mm-hmm. And this match goes for 11 minutes and 12 seconds.
But we didn't talk about the introduction.
Oh, what was the introduction?
Oh, that's right. She did the whole water bottle thing. Yeah.
Oh, what, The Rock? Okay.
I thought the introduction to this WrestleMania was one different.
The host? Yes. One of the few times we get a host of a WrestleMania. We got The Rock coming out here after the America the Beautiful is sang. Here, I forgot by who.
Right, we get the People's Champion, the most electrifying man in sports entertainment, the People's Eyebrow, the jabroni beaten, pie eating, trailblazing, eyebrow raising, strong arm of the law.
I don't think that's strong arm of the law, but I think it's supposed to be.
I thought he was so good introducing this WrestleMania. Were you guys? I don't know if you rewatched it. I know you got to see it live. I was so excited to see him.
I rewatched it. And like clips of it. I mean, it's hard because at the time it was dope as hell because The Rock was back. But watching it now, I'm like, it's cool, but I don't think it was as good as I originally thought it was. But that's just kind of how I feel about it.
Wow.
No, I'm totally on board with that one. It's you've seen it, and then now you've seen how it's kind of like it's a revisiting type of thing. So you've seen how it jogs your memory on how this whole storyline progresses from the arc of, The Rock is here, and then you see how this event ends, and it just made me mad. And we'll get into that a little bit. We'll get into it, why it makes me mad, but it's something that it just, I can't really talk about it without spoiling it for any people that may be watching it and be like, hey, why do I need to see WrestleMania 27 for the first time? I thought
the intro was pretty awesome. I enjoyed it, and this was definitely my favorite. The introduction was one of my favorite parts of this WrestleMania. So me as like a new American training watching The Rock was very impressed by the intro, and I was really happy with it. So
yeah,
and I felt the same exact way the first time. Like I really did. I did. It was spectacular.
Yes. So anything else before we can move on?
That's all I have.
All right. So we have Alberto Del Rio. He was we'll put up a picture. He had this great introduction here.
That's a great picture.
Yeah, a follow Potosino, because he is from San Luis Potosí, as all of my family members are.
This is true.
Yeah.
Ooh.
So, yeah, look at all that Latino hotness.
Look at all that hotness. Boy, I am sweating. Yeah. I am hot.
Yeah. And Maria was already buying this entrance when she's like, did you see Alberto Del Rio's estate that he has in the background in his entrance? And I'm like, what? And then she was eating everything the announcers were giving her. She was like, oh yeah, it's his estate in northern Mexico. So like, yeah,
that's not factual.
No, that's not factual at all. I'm sure that you can look that up. If you go anywhere near northern Mexico, which is closer to the border of Texas and things like that, it's all mountainous and it looks nothing like that. So
interesting.
Wrestling tricking us.
Yeah, if they wanted to be accurate, they could probably say that it was probably from where he is in San Luis Potosí. There's more centralized and there's more like mountains and green things like that. So, but I'm digressing, and so let's get into it. You are a fan of Edge?
I'm a fan of Edge, yeah.
And were you a fan of Alberto Del Rio?
I was impressed with Alberto Del Rio.
Awesome. So who were you going to root for?
This is a hard one because I like Edge, and Edge with Christian, and Alberto also had Brodus Clay there.
Mm-hmm.
So I was actually rooting for Alberto. Like you said, I bought it hook, line, and sinker. I was like, where is this ginormous house that he has?
Love it.
He's super tall, super athletic. I'm like, what is this? I've seen him wrestle before. So I was excited to see this match.
All right. Yep. Awesome.
What about you guys?
I think if I remember correctly, I was also on the Alberto Del Rio bandwagon here.
I recall.
So by thinking back to 2011 and now seeing this here 13 years later, I do not care for this match at all.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you, but on the opposite, I'm like Edge, my guy. Edge and Christian, like, and I can't believe it's 2011. You said that, and it gave me goosebumps, and I'm like, damn, it was that long. But yeah, I was like, Edge has got to win. Didn't really care for Del Rio at the time, but agree with you, man. Again, in hindsight, not hindsight, but rewatching this, I'm like, I don't really care. And it was the first match too.
Yeah. This is like, I think either the second or third instance where we get like usually since WrestleMania 8, we've had whoever wins the Royal Rumble gets a shot in main events WrestleMania. And that's the whole big thing about winning the Royal Rumble.
Yeah.
And here we are, Alberto Del Rio wins, and even though they're trying to, the announcers are out there pushing that he's had like the greatest rocket to stardom, and in the whole first year, he's not main eventing the Royal Rumble, the WrestleMania. So it's like Vince gave him a push, but he's like, "Oh wait, hold on, we're gonna bring it back here because I can't have a person of color going out here and main eventing."
You got it, boy.
Oh,
I mean, it is crazy, but it's kind of real. But
yeah, I agree with you guys. This match is not a recommended match for me. It's not a revisit, and it was a little dull. I had higher expectations. I've seen Edge wrestle before. I've seen Alberto wrestle before, not in WrestleMania. So I thought this was going to be pretty cool, but it was kind of lackluster. So
that's good word for it, lackluster. Yeah.
And I thought, as far as like the ring psychology work is there. Alberto Del Rio is primarily more of a submission guy, but it's always been weird to me that he has those type of mat skills with the height that he has, and he looks like he should be more of a brawler.
Yeah, that's true. He is very dynamic.
It throws it off. So when he pulls off like some of these moves, primarily like trying to get his arm bar on there, those look pretty cool. But everything else, it throws me off. And I think if they had maybe like scripted the match in a different way to actually make it seem more geared to Alberto having the upper hand, because even though Christian's there to help out Edge and he has Brodus Clay, I mean, they really don't get involved too much. They try to get him, and there are times where like you have Ricardo, like the deck is stacked. I don't know why I couldn't say that word against Edge, but he still manages to pull it off. But the interference doesn't really add anything too much to this match to me.
Yeah.
No, it didn't. I mean, it stretched the time.
Yeah, that's true. That's about it.
Yeah. What is it? 11
minutes and 12 seconds. Yeah, 12 this pretty is like as good as a match that we had. And I really, if I am recommending this to a newer fan like my wife, I definitely would not recommend this match. I believe John is also agreeing that he will not recommend this match.
No.
So I do want to add that unfortunately at this time, like about a week later, Edge has to retire because he has the spinal stenosis.
Yes.
So this is the last match that we have for Edge for about 8 or 9 years at WrestleMania.
Yeah, it was a while. Oh, yeah, and I don't want to say the match. Again, this is revisiting. It didn't feel sloppy, but knowing the information that we know now, you could see that Edge wasn't at his best.
Good point.
And like they had to have people on the outside because like he couldn't do it, but then they came out and told us. So like they probably knew beforehand because you know how wrestling works and shit. But yeah, like
that's true.
Oh yeah, Vince is not trying to get in trouble with anybody, especially after that whole thing with Owen about maybe 12 years ago from what we're putting in the timeline.
So no for you.
That is a clean sweep. We do not recommend anyone, whether they're a new fan or an older fan to sports entertainment like me.
Or if you're the oldest
BB.
fan.
Yeah. Do not go back and rewatch this match.
Or if you're the youngest fan. I heard that Alberto Del Rio was watching wrestling when he was like 3. He had a little lucha mask.
He should have, because his dad was a wrestler.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was. I think he was Dos Caras.
Dos Caras, Two Faces.
Two Faces. Saltame cara.
So yeah, it's tradition for him to probably been watching his dad. So
like tradition with John, with your uncle.
Yeah, watching him. Oh, he used to take 2x4s and like smash them over his head, and then would like do his finishing move, which I never remember what his finishing move was, because every time I saw the piece of wood, I would lose my shit and just kind of like black out. Yeah, he don't do that no more.
Nah, there's no one trying to do anything over their head anymore.
No,
for good reason.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, with this, we move on to Rey Mysterio, the master of the 619, versus no longer dashing Cody Rhodes, because the storyline leading up to this is that Rey's knee brace ends up crushing and breaking Cody's nose.
I think this is interesting because we have two dynamics. Isn't Cody, what's his name right now?
The American Nightmare.
Yes. And then Mysterio is dressed as Captain America.
Yeah. Oh, that's a good catch by you.
Yeah. Nice.
I was just gonna make fun of Cody right now because he's over here making his impersonation of Arrow.
The Green Arrow. I love the beginning of the Green Arrow.
I wonder if he got tips from Stephen Amell on that one, where he's like, "Hey, where do you get your costume made?"
What did he used to say?
He's
failed the city.
You failed the city.
What was that? Disfigured Cody? What was the? I can't remember what they were calling him during that time.
Well, he was dashing Cody Rhodes before this, and I don't remember them calling him anything after
But yeah, he had like a clear face mask.
Yeah,
on his face. Like I don't know.
It was hilarious.
Instead of like Dos Caras, he was like Sin Cara or Half Cara.
I don't know what it was.
Half Cara.
Yeah, so this match goes for 12 minutes. We got the first WrestleMania match that Rey Mysterio is given that lasts more than 10 minutes.
That's true. Did you love it? Did you love every minute of it? Or no? Was it kind of a bummer for you? I'm really curious.
For me, or are you asking John?
John.
Oh, I mean, I'm a sucker for Rey Mysterio. He was the only reason why I used to watch WCW back in the day. So yeah, you'll find me hard pressed to say something bad about a Rey Mysterio match. So I loved every second of it.
Okay. Anything stick out in particular? Any spots or anything?
Well, I like what Cody did with and that's I guess I should say it full. I love Rey Mysterio, but I think Cody elevated. They elevated each other in that match. For me, it was a lot of like the reversals and the stuff spilling outside of the ring. Like that to me was awesome. Because that shit's hard to do. I mean, wrestling's hard, period. But to make it look that effortless, to how do you jump out of the ring and land outside, but your knees are still in the middle of the second rope and not kill yourself? Like that's amazing. So just the whole match was dope to me. Even like rewatching it, I'm like, oh man, I forgot how cool this was. But again, the reversals as an adult now, if you want to see some good like reversals, technical work and stuff like that, like watch that match. It's pretty dope. The storytelling was good too.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. What about you, Maria?
And I like Rey Mysterio's outfits. I'm a fan of Rey. I thought this match was pretty cool. Like John said, I like the reversals, the moves that they had. So this would be a recommended match for me. Some good technique in here, good spots, solid match.
Yeah, like I think this is one of the probably spot. I like this catapult thing.
Yeah,
the in between ropes that Cody does on Rey, and then we get a little bit of a comeback from Rey when I always like the head scissors type of thing.
So dope.
Pulls off, and you get to see his costume a little bit more. And then we see Rey trying to get his revenge on Cody. Cody tried to get his mask off on Rey, and Rey returning the favor. Right? Yeah, I mean, it is a no-no, but we've already seen Rey without his mask. But I mean, there's fans now that would have been watching this in 2011 who probably did not see WCW back maybe 8 or 9 years ago when that actually happened. So
that's true. That's true.
Yeah, and then we got a couple of instances when Cody keeps blocking the 619, but actually Ray actually managed to get that. And
So
you think
good.
that Ray is actually gonna win, but no. Eventually, Cody gets Ray's knee brace off, and he manages to get a hold of it, and he clocks Ray, and it's a pin and a win for Cody Rhodes. So, unfortunately for me, I'm gonna go ahead and say that this is not a recommended match for me. As much as I do enjoy this match, I think the one that they have later on, I think it's like a last standing match, is a little bit better because I feel like this feud needed a little bit more to be more personal, and you need like one of those no DQs or falls count anywhere type of matches for you to get the whole breadth of the story. But like a phrase that I managed to coin a little bit earlier in our podcast, this felt like this was another match that might have been an amuse-bouche for you.
No.
So
we brought the amuse-bouche out.
Yeah.
Surprise.
Oh shit.
Shit. But if you are a fan of Cody Rhodes and you want to see the beginning of Cody Rhodes, and he had the technique down match wise, but he didn't have the gimmick to go with it.
That's true.
So
that gimmick was weird.
That's true. Yeah, and I feel like that's kind of been the case with Cody's whole career, but we'll talk about that maybe some other time.
Yeah, I mean, we do have Raw and SmackDown tidbits, so if you want to go and to talk about afterwards, we can definitely go into that a little bit later on in the show. So with this, if there's nothing else to pick apart here, we can move on to the next match.
Big Show.
The Big Show is back, and he is not in a title hunt this time, but he's over here mid-carding along with Kane, Kofi Kingston, and Santino Marella versus The Core, which is a very D-U-M-B dumb name here. With Ezekiel Jackson, Heath Slater, Justin Gabriel, and Wade Barrett. Now, my wife, knowing her, she is a fan of The Big Show.
Santino?
And you are a fan of Santino or Santina. This is Santina's brother, Santino.
I am a fan of her brother.
And you are a fan of Wade Barrett.
Yeah.
Bad News Barretts.
Yeah, bad news.
Yeah. So who are you rooting for?
This match goes for a lengthy 1 minute and 32 seconds. 8-man tag team match. The match that you all have been waiting for.
For the best WrestleMania ever.
Yeah.
WrestleMania 27.
The biggest WrestleMania.
The biggest, excuse me.
The biggest. And this is actually a recommended match for me.
Okay, let's get into it. Tell me why.
Okay.
It's short. It has some of my favorite wrestlers. We get to see the Big Show wrestling. Santino Marella, he gets to do some wrestling. He didn't during the last WrestleMania he was in. I'm a big fan of Kofi, and it was just fun. So, we had a finishing move by Santino. He did his little, what is his rooting? Like
his this? Trumpet?
His little trumpet?
Yeah. Like
there we go.
His trumpet celebration.
I thought that was hilarious.
Yeah, let's get to the spot where he sets up his Cobra. A little bit later on, babe. Just like Mick Foley had his Sacco.
Yeah.
Santino gets a sock wrap around his thing, and it's a little Cobra. Yeah, so we got Santino starting out the match. He does his thing, and then the Big Show gets in there, and he starts clearing the house here.
I can see why you guys wouldn't like this match, but I thought it was fun.
No, you made really good points, though. Like, you really, awesome. Like, yeah.
Yeah, and like, I'm not saying that this match is like a terrible match, but it's more of a thing, like, it's 1 minute and 30 seconds, like, with all these 8 guys, especially like, Ezekiel Jackson. You have one powerhouse, and you have it matching with either Kane or the Big Show.
Yeah.
You have a high flyer with Justin Gabriel, who gets no time at all in there.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have Wade Barrett, which is another brawler that you could probably have him go either against the Big Show or Kane. Yeah, and none of those guys get enough usage here. It's like they all got thrown in there, and they're like, "Well, you got a WrestleMania payday, so I guess that should be good enough for you guys, right?"
Yeah.
I honestly, I didn't remember this until rewatching it. And it was, I'm like, why would you have a squash match on WrestleMania? Like, wouldn't you save that?
Those. Yeah.
And that's what it was. It was a squash match, but everything you said, Maria, is valid. I'm like, oh shit, I never thought about it that way. I still wouldn't recommend it. But yeah, weird. It's a weird match. I'm watching my 8-man tag. I'm like, oh, I don't remember this. Oh, this is
it was so short. It was. I'm like, it was quick. Started, ended. Everybody got a little pay. So, or maybe big pay. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, who knows how much the payday would have been for those people in that particular point in the card, going in there. Here we're the third match. So
with that,
yeah, if there's nothing else to pick apart here,
the next match.
Yeah, that takes us to the Viper,
the Legend Killer,
Randy Orton versus CM Punk. And this match goes for 14 minutes and 46 seconds.
John, what did you think about this match?
I really like Randy Orton. It's what I kept saying over and over again. I've had a strong disdain for CM Punk. Sorry, I know that's you guys is like hometown hero.
No, I'm on the opposite side with you. I'm on team BB right here. I'm like, yes, I'm not a fan of Phil, but
yeah, I'm not a fan. A good match. So let me say that because I'm biased. I focused on Randy. CM Punk will always put on a good show. But boy, Randy carried him in this match.
Ooh.
In hindsight, watching it again with what I know about wrestling now, to me, watching it, I didn't watch it in full this time around. But I'm like, oh man, it's still the same old thing. He's a lot younger because I know, Phil from a few years ago, and then when he went to AEW and stuff. But yeah, it was just like, wow. So yeah, I guess I'm a little biased. I'm never gonna really like a CM Punk match per se, and I'm always gonna think the other person's gonna carry them. Whether that's true or not, I don't know.
Okay, so it's not a revisit from John. I guess what we're saying.
It was kind of a revisit.
Okay.
But again,
because of Randy,
because of the work of Randy.
Yeah. I didn't remember this match. I didn't remember this card at all. But as I'm looking, I'm like, oh, Randy Orton, CM Punk. I was like, but I do love me some Legend Killer, so let me get on it. But yeah, sorry to shit on this cereal.
Oh. It's okay, because I'm here to unshit on it.
Okay. Yeah. Tell us what people should be.
I have not really had a favorite Randy Orton match at a WrestleMania to date, but this was one of them. And maybe it's because, like you said, he was putting in the work. A fan of CM Punk. I am. Hometown from Chicago. But also, I like his wrestling gear during this match as well. During this WrestleMania, I thought it was pretty cool. I like his boots. So that was pretty cool for me to see. Fan of both. And I like the wrestling during this match. Good spots. And I'd recommend it. So, new to watching wrestling, newer, I will say. I'm already 27 WrestleManias in.
Hey.
But I liked it. So I would say watch it. What about you?
This is very borderline for me. And we'll get into it here. But yeah, they could have a lot of back and forth here with this particular match. Like the match starts off kind of like it looks like it's gonna be one of those like slow pace match. We're gonna work a technical match, but it kind of shifts gears here. So, because you really can't have Randy working a technical match. He's more of a spot kind of guy. and with a little bit of power once in a while. And that's where Randy's found his little sweet spot in making things go, because people like cheering for him, whether he's a bad guy or a face. It's just something about that. People are like, yes, Randy Orton, let's cheer for that guy.
He's regained his title as Legend Killer.
Yeah, whereas for me, like I respect the work that Randy's done, but I like, since I'm a veteran and I don't like that he went AWOL and then he paid no price for it at all.
Lord.
So
we're getting real, guys.
Personal wise, not a fan of Randy. Ring wise, yes, I'm a fan of. Fan of Randy. But
I agree with that.
So, but they trade off a couple of things. You know, he has the advantage. Punk goes up. Punk always has some good high flying spots, whether it's him doing like the Macho Man tribute elbow and things like that. Yeah. And then they had this one spot where they do the superplex here, where you think
was that off the top rope?
Yeah.
Yeah, that one's crazy.
Yeah, that was a good spot. And I always like the way Randy does his power slam here. He just
he has one of the best in the business.
Yeah.
Like him and Dustin Rhodes. I love their power slams. They're really good.
Yeah, and we can't forget, always got to get Randy doing his draping DDT that he milks for a little bit before he drops the hammer on them. And then we get the finale, which was, I'm always impressed when people try to do this type of, it's already a spot in there. You know you're going to take the spot. So, but just to know that, okay, this is it. I'm going to have to jump off the top turnbuckle and dive into this arcade hole. Like, I mean, you know you're gonna get paid, but just like having those thoughts are like, oh, I hope he catches me. Oh, I hope he catches me.
But that was a cool spot.
Yeah.
Like, I like I said, I don't like CM Punk, but I'm not gonna deny his talent. You know, like he's a professional wrestler at the highest level for a reason. You know what I'm saying? That's like saying, oh, you're in the NFL, you suck. No, they don't suck. You know what I mean? Like they can't suck. They're at the highest level of it, you know? So I say that with knowing that he's a beast, and I do respect his craft because you have to. Like you said, I wonder if he's going to catch me. You ain't catching me doing that shit. Not over no top rope. Hell no. I ain't crawling on the floor with my kid either. No, just kidding. Just kidding.
Yeah. So it was a good match of trading like blows and, you know, like trying to one up each other. And as far as like recommending this match to a newer fan, like my wife who has never seen this pay-per-view until now, but like if someone's like, hey, for some reason I want to watch WrestleMania 27,
like watch it,
and I'll be like, you know what, just no, don't watch this match, but there is this match. No, but if you are a fan of Randy and are a fan of CM Punk and you're newer to wrestling and you haven't had a chance to watch anything else that he's done besides the AEW run, like as John pointed out, like AEW, he had his moments,
but it was
it was not this type of CM Punk that we get here introduced to. So if you want to go back and see some of his matches before he retired, in I think in 2 years after this WrestleMania, takes the hiatus.
Oh yeah.
So definitely revisit for that. But as a newer fan, I do not recommend that someone go out and rewatch this.
So with that takes us to
the best match of the night.
The best match of the night.
Yes.
The best.
Is it the best match? Or
but before that, no, it's not the best match of the. You are jumping ahead, but I wanted to get to something here because we get the Hall of Fame.
Oh yeah.
Introductions here.
Drew Carey.
Yeah, so we get Abdullah the Butcher.
Yes.
Yeah,
motherfucker.
This guy who's been working for a while, and I think if I'm remembering correctly, he has been giving out lots of hepatitis over the years.
Yes. So you see his forehead, right? You see, that's all scars from blading with razors, like cutting himself.
Oh my god!
And that's how he passed on the hepatitis to other people. Yeah,
this is serious.
Yeah,
because he would not change his blades that he cut himself with. He would reuse them.
That is so disgusting.
That's what I've heard.
Yeah. So I know you probably did not do any type of research.
No, I didn't have a chance to look
but
up.
I did not want to gross you out. But yeah. So
like
crap.
he went to court and lost the case over that. But he in his defense, he didn't show up. Or I guess in his defense, he didn't show up to the court case. So by default, he lost. And on record, he's given people hepatitis for being.
Holy shit! Wow, that's incredible.
Yeah, and we're here to teach people. So, and then with this one, we get Sunny, the return of Sunny. This is I guess the peak of her career after wrestling, because after that it goes downhill
fast and hard.
Yeah. Our first comment here on our live stream from our previous guest and fan Anthony Jones.
Yes.
Abdullah has a great restaurant in Atlanta too.
Tony.
Oh, that probably makes sense on why he was inducted here. Thank you for chiming in, sir.
Yeah, that makes good point.
Yeah, so we also have the induction of the Road Warriors with Paul Ellering, and here we have Animal and Paul, who is still working right now currently as a manager for the Authors of Pain.
Oh wow,
AOP on SmackDown right now.
What is he doing?
He's just like the manager and like how we used to have back in the days, like a Mr. Fuji and things like that. That's the guy on the right hand side with the sunglasses.
Yeah.
And then we have Animal, and at this time we do not have Hawk because he had passed away from a heart attack in 2003.
Have you ever seen those memes with the sunglasses that pop down?
Like, deal with it.
Yeah, that's what those sunglasses look like.
The deal with the glasses, love it.
And then we have the celebrity wing, Drew Carey.
This is really random to me.
Yeah, I do not know. This is like maybe like
I watch a Drew Carey show.
Oh, I love that show. Yeah.
Like I'm not knocking Drew Carey or him being on The Price is Right?
Yeah, I think I remember him. It wasn't a WrestleMania, might have been a Survivor Series or two where he messed around with Kane. Like he was in a match.
Okay.
But I don't remember like if that was why he was like an inductee.
Maybe I'll add it as a companion to this WrestleMania 27.
Yeah, and then we have this induction of a wrestler that I have no idea who it was, and I had to look him up. Bullet Bob Armstrong. Here we go, right there. Yeah. He was a professional wrestler, obviously, because that's why he's here. But he wrestled back, I guess in around Atlanta too. He wrestled also in TNA.
That's pretty cool.
So he was part of also the National Wrestling Alliance, obviously from 1960 to 1988. So
territory days.
Yeah, so everybody would have known him. Another local talent they got inducted. And we have BB's favorite wrestler growing up, Hacksaw. He loved his 2x4 so much that he got hit a little bow tie. Yes. The 2x4 also had to be in formal wear for this induction.
That's really cute. I love it.
Yo, Hacksaw was my guy, bro.
Yeah. And too bad he got shit on after he got caught up with the Iron Sheik.
What?
I didn't know that.
Remember him and the Iron Sheik got pulled over for drinking, or one of them was doing drugs. I don't remember like the context of the story, even though it's like kind of there and green in my brain.
Was that?
That was in the mid 80s or 90s.
That seems like the thing to do in the 80s, no?
Oh yeah, that was the thing to do.
So we'll get back to this. I want to see, because Anthony is giving us information. Bob Armstrong was like the original choir boy of wrestling. Oh, so he was like the Captain America version of NWA. I think what he's trying to get at.
I'm curious. I want to look up his wrestling.
But
his wrestling.
Yeah. So the Iron Sheik and Hacksaw are driving from one town to another. They're doing some swerving. The police pull them over, and then they both get booked and thrown in jail. And this makes a big headline news, but it also, since it was breaking headline news and making like waves, BB, they're like, hey, if Hacksaw is a good guy and the Sheik is a bad guy, what are they doing traveling together?
They broke the.
So they broke the kayfabe, and Vince did not like that. You got railroaded towards the end of this WWE run.
Wow.
And
Can't
then
even drink and do drugs and drive with your friends anymore. Just joking, guys. Never do that ever. Don't do it
unless it's legal in your state. You can
just don't get caught.
Do it responsibly.
Huh?
Just stay home.
Yeah.
And then we have one last time HBK. He's headlining this Hall of Fame class after his final match that he had last year. Oh,
was the Flair match, right?
No, he had the Undertaker match.
Oh, the Undertaker one. That's right. My bad. I was thinking it was Flair's last match.
But I did not cry at all.
Oh,
so
okay.
But it was.
You were emotional?
I was emotional, but I was like, I'm not gonna be like I'm gonna be out here crying. Like I don't know, like. He's entertained me, but it's not one of those things where it's going to be like maybe in however many years, if he passes, it'll hit me emotionally. But like, it's not to that point yet where I'm like, I'm really going to miss him and he's not going to be here because he still is. He's working at the company.
Right.
What is it? The father of comics. Why am I blanking on his name right now?
Stanley?
Yeah, Stan Lee. When Stan Lee passed away, I was really sad.
You were. I had to tell you, and you're like, "What?" I'm like, "No." But at least we actually got to meet him and take a picture with him.
Yeah, nice. HBK, he's still doing awesome. So
yeah.
Also, why was his name the biggest there?
He was the headliner.
Was, inducted.
Yeah,
he's the headliner.
I know, but I'm just like, it was a little lengthy. I was like, oh,
comes with the territory, being the top guy.
That's true.
Okay, that's a good nugget from Anthony here. Like the Road Dogg
from DX
was one of the Armstrongs. So he was saying, I guess they had something like the Von Erich, so he was under that stable of being
that's pretty cool.
An Armstrong.
What?
Yeah. So after this, if you were riding the high of seeing HBK, the main event, showstopper. You got to see the match of the century. We have Michael Cole versus Jerry the King Lawler. And this match, for some reason, went 13 minutes and 45 seconds.
I know you guys love this match.
Oh, yeah, this is a highly recommend. Psych.
If you're watching and this was a recommended match for you,
please put it in the comments and explain to us why you love this match besides seeing Stone Cold riding in his ATV.
That was cool.
That was cool. That was cool.
Yeah. But what's not cool, to borrow from my tocayo Carlito, was Michael Cole in his wrestling gear. That was not cool.
Yeah, all of that. He's not even a wrestler, right?
No, he's not. He went to I believe, to Syracuse, and that's why he's all dressed in the orange for the Orange Men or
I don't know the name, but I didn't. Thank you for pointing that out because I was wondering why those colors, but that makes sense.
Yeah. So we got then we had Jack Swagger accompanying Michael Cole, and he's kind of like his coach. And eventually Jerry is putting on a whooping on Michael Cole. And Jack Swagger's like, no mas, I'm throwing in the towel. He did what Rocky hesitated to do for Apollo in Rocky 4. And he threw it in there. And guess what? Stone Cold, as a guest referee, is like, thank you. I was gaining a sweat here. It's hot in Georgia.
Jack Swagger looks like he could be one of the evil villains in like a Cobra Kai.
Yeah. And then Jack Swagger goes to argue because he wanted the match to stop. And he gets a stunner. And
you get a stunner. You get a stunner.
And then after this, the King goes on an offensive. We don't need to see anymore.
What?
He technically wins.
I hear
but
that.
Guess what?
What?
We get a little Apple notification sound. I don't remember which one it is, but we get
email.
This. And it's an email from the Raw anonymous general manager. which I hated this era in particular of the WWE.
Tell us how you really feel.
Honestly, I kind of stopped watching wrestling like right around this point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was off and on in this particular era where I was just like, I'm just gonna watch the pay-per-views because they give you the little scissor reels. So I'm like, I'm just gonna save the time and just watch the pay-per-views and we'll go from there.
It happens.
But yeah, it apparently did not. The Raw Anonymous general manager did not like that Stone Cold put himself into this match and reverses the decision. Thus, Jerry the King Lawler no longer wins this match, and the decision goes to Michael Cole.
This is noted as one of the worst matches in WrestleMania history.
Well, how do you feel as a new fan?
I thought it was horrific.
Okay.
Good.
So that statement stands. Please do not go out there and watch this match. You do not need to see Michael Cole in his wrestling gear.
Oh.
I need to see anything in particular of this match. So yeah,
excessively long.
Right.
Cole.
This match should have been 1 minute and 30 something seconds.
Yeah.
The reversal by the anonymous Raw general manager. All of it. Terrible.
Ugh.
Yes.
No good.
With this, we can move on to the highlight of the night.
The highlights.
The best match in this card.
I think so too.
We have.
It is a recommended match for me.
The Undertaker putting the streak on the line versus Hunter Hearst Helmsley Triple H. And this, yes, Triple H. And this match goes for 29 minutes and 23 seconds. Ooh. And it's a no holds barred match.
Damn.
Yeah.
Well, I like the entrance for Triple H. For whom the bell tolls
he played
by
that
Metallica.
Yeah.
He's wearing a mask and a suit. I thought he looked pretty awesome, so that was impressive. And the Undertaker enters to "Ain't No Grave" by Johnny Cash.
Yeah, but we did not get to hear the music because they only had it for the live version.
For the live, yeah.
So we just got the regular Undertaker music for anyone who may be watching it on Peacock, or if you own the DVD or Blu-ray, you might,
or the VHS.
I don't know if they were still putting out VHS.
What if they were?
Then what was this? 2011?
Yeah,
yeah, DVD, definitely DVD.
Yeah. DVD for sure.
Okay.
So
I was like, where
you never know. I don't recall when they started doing where they stopped doing VCR versions of it.
I know. Kind of stopped caring once I got a DVD player.
So
that's true.
God, the 2000s. Banger of a match though. Like you said. I was shocked because you said the length of it. And good matches never feel that long. Like it felt like an awesome 10-12 minute match, but once you said 29 minutes, I was like, damn, it was that long. But it was good.
I'm curious, who are you rooting for?
Okay, so Triple H was my new favorite wrestler when he was Hunter Hearst Helmsley, Mr. I loved him from the minute he came in. But then, the dark side is always cool. So Undertaker, I wanted the Undertaker to win because, the streak, that's who I was rooting for, but I wouldn't have been mad if Triple H would have ended it. You know what I mean?
That's true too.
But yeah, it's Undertaker. Yeah.
Yeah, especially how we get it 3 years from now and who actually, spoiler alert, the streak ends in 3 WrestleManias from now.
Wow.
But yeah.
I do have the same sentiment though, which is if Triple H had ended his streak at this point, I would have been fine with it because it was such a good match and the wrestling was so good. Triple H is growing on me. I didn't really care for him during his medieval times, Triple H, when his original persona. But this match was solid. We get a spine buster.
Yeah, let's take a look at that.
Through the table.
Yeah, here it is. Bam. For some reason, they decided not to take Michael Cole's coal mine down. So they're like, let's just keep this dangerous obstruction near the announce table still, while you guys are going to throw each other through these things. So we got those two guys. But I like this picture that I found here where they're facing off. It's kind of like a fisheye view.
I like that.
So yeah, so this was pretty cool. You get the whole like setting the scene, getting the atmosphere of the Undertaker's entrance and things along those lines. So yeah, so that was pretty cool. Those are some really good spots that they had there. I like the whole thing where the Undertaker does a tombstone, but also Hunter gets to pull off a tombstone of his own here.
Yeah.
And you think that it's gonna be it, but it's not. And then you think it's gonna end the other way, where the Undertaker finally gets his tombstone.
Yeah.
So the false finishes that we get here and the near falls to me were perfect. It's set up. It's like HBK took Undertaker to the limit, and maybe Hunter has that little bit more since he's bigger than HBK. You're thinking that he'll probably be able to actually be the one to beat the streak. And if you are watching for the first time this match here, I'm gonna spoil this here, but yeah, the Undertaker ends up winning here. He goes to 19-0. He falls to the Hell's Gate, which is a move that we saw him, I think, first incorporate a little bit ago. I think WrestleMania 22. I think was where we first saw it. And it came back to play here because the way the story is, like, the Undertaker may not have had it anymore, like power wise, to put it out, but you know, you had to put down the aggressor, and what better way to do it than the new MMA move that you were impressed by, the Hell's Gate.
And he gets carted away.
Yeah, and that's you know, the Undertaker here is, I think, either 44 or 45.
46.
46.
He's a young 46.
A young 46.
Yeah, and Hunter's 41.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
So
there was one thing that I wanted to talk about real fast too.
Yeah.
When Taker jumped over the top rope to the outside,
yes,
he's 46 years old.
Yeah,
like, that is incredible. Like, yeah, that was the only other spot that I wanted to mention. But
that's true.
Yeah, no, that was a great spot. It reminded us of was it the first HBK one?
Yeah,
where he's supposed to do his leap over his tope over the top rope, and he's supposed to, HBK's bringing the camera guy, like the first HBK Undertaker match.
Oh,
and
shit,
the camera guy does not catch him.
Yeah,
Jimmy Superfly Snuka's son, and we had to watch it a few times from different angles.
That was rough.
It looks like the Undertaker actually hits his head, but it really doesn't.
Yeah, I remember that one now. Yeah.
So he's been a Daredevil Undertaker for a little bit as he's gotten up there with age, but he's still putting on a show here for us, which was great, and which is why we recommend that you go out and watch this match, whether you're a new fan
19
to wrestling,
guys, gals,
or if you're a seasoned
friends.
veteran.
Yeah,
do yourself a favor. If you haven't gone out to, for some reason you haven't heard or you haven't gotten a chance, go out and see this match.
You want to watch really good wrestling? This is a really good match.
You want to see, how a match that this, he's very upset that the Undertaker has taken out his friend. He's trying to get and prove that he is.
The storyline is weird. Okay.
Go ahead.
The storyline is strange because the storyline is basically telling us that Triple H is here to defend or to get revenge because his friend HBK was taken out. Okay. Kind of corny, but the wrestling was awesome.
Yeah.
And this is again with Triple H. I have few recommended matches for him. This is one of them. The wrestling is excellent. So great job, guys.
Yeah. And then they're gonna do it again next year for next WrestleMania 28.
So is this a round of recommended matches?
Oh, absolutely.
Because we're gonna break this next one. So we're gonna break away from recommended matches during this next
these next two that come up. Maybe
definitely the next one.
Yeah. So with this, go out and it's a clean sweep of recommended matches for The Undertaker versus Triple H, no holds barred. Now, the next match we have here
is your favorite match?
Is the 6-person tag. We have John Morrison with Trish Stratus making her WrestleMania return. And Nicole Polizzi, otherwise known as Snooki, from the Jersey Shore MTV show, versus Layla, Michelle McCool, and Dolph Ziggler.
Yeah.
This match goes for 3 minutes and 15 seconds.
For a lengthy 3 minutes and 16 seconds.
Yeah. So, Maria, what did you think here?
Wait, I want to know what you guys think first.
I'll let John go. Okay.
The only celebrity, I've always kind of hated celebrity matches. This is not my thing. Celebrity referees, like the Mike Tyson one, that one time, that shit was dope. You can obviously tell where I'm going with this. Don't waste your time. I didn't even bother to watch this when I did the recap. I didn't watch the recap for the recap. Like, don't even waste your time. Like, it's just, I have nothing positive to say. It's cool. Trish Stratus is a beast. You know, I like Dolph Ziggler. John Morrison's cool too. But again, just that match is just I'm done.
Okay. Yeah, he's done. All right. Yeah. So we have Snooki coming in here.
I like how she's pointing.
Yeah, she's pointing there. She's part of the, I believe the shirt said a brunette mafia, because Trish Stratus actually matches her too with her hair. We've used to seeing Trish wearing her blonde locks, and she also comes out here with some dark colored hair. So
brunettes have more fun, guys.
I guess that's what they're trying to say here. But yeah, so this match starts off with a little bit of a skirmish here after John Morrison is getting in Snooki's face. Snooki slaps him, and we have Snooki eventually getting in there and showing off some of her skills. She does that those cartwheels or whatever, those gymnastic splash. Yeah, cartwheel splash, and then she does this little standing kind of backflip onto Michelle McCool
for the win.
Yeah, and then we end up getting Snooki wins.
Guys, Snooki is not just about the fist pumps. She's got some serious ring skills too.
I think that's from her cheerleading background. When
I'm saying, yeah.
But as far as me, yeah, I do not recommend that this match goes. I do want to have a tidbit to add. And
what's your tidbit?
Tell us. Originally with this match, it was John Morrison wanted Melina, his girlfriend at the time, to be in this match.
What?
But Vince did not want to have that. So during the whole thing, it's kind of like an awkward exchange between John and Trish, and John Morrison actually is not like his hands being raised, but he's like trying not to sell it as him being happy and things like that. So eventually, like after this ends, Trish, Trish is continuing to be involved with the company, but John Morrison and Melina are both let go, and eventually that relationship falls apart, and John Morrison ends up marrying someone else, Taya Valkyrie. La Güera Loca, for those people who have followed her from her AAA and her Lucha Underground career, and now she's in AEW.
That's a good tidbit. Those are good tidbits. Yeah. Thanks for the amuse-bouche.
So, I believe you said that you do recommend people go out and watch this match.
Fans, friends, family, listening, watching. This is a recommended match for me. Why? Because you get the handsome John Morrison, handsome Dolph Ziggler.
Yeah.
Trish Stratus is an awesome wrestler. And if you want to see Nicole Snooki Polizzi do an awesome cartwheel and a finish, it's pretty cool to see her do that. So I think we all grew up watching, maybe not you guys, but the Jersey Shore here and there. And I thought it was pretty awesome. I'm really proud of her. Really happy to see her pull these moves, and that's why it was a recommended match for me. It was a little silly, a little fun, and a good way to kill some time during WrestleMania. So it's a recommended match for moi.
God, I love your perspectives. I'm just like, damn it, you're making solid points. I mean, I'm still not going to recommend it, but I'm like, I can't. It's fucking accurate. Who doesn't want to see action figured men and hot women? Like, come on, that's true. It's true.
It's a good break.
Yeah, I mean, she's like the perfect person that Vince would have wanted around that time. Like, yeah, what, you want to see more half naked men? Yes,
let's do it.
Yeah. I thought everybody was cool during this match. Again, thanks for the tidbits. That's interesting to know that they weren't with the WWE, like too long after this, but it was fun. So a nice break.
Yeah.
Yep.
And with this, we get to the main event: John Cena versus The Miz for the WWE Spinner Belt Championship. And this match goes for 50 minutes and 21 seconds. I'm not sure if that's actually counting, like, spoiler alert, if you're watching us, in order to get an idea if you should watch this Miz and John Cena match. This has a break in it because they add on to it. So I'm not sure if that 15 minutes and 21 seconds includes that.
Did you think this was Miznificent?
No, I did not think it was anything into it. I'm probably gonna shit all over this match.
Oh, you didn't think it was Miztastic?
Yeah, but let's go ahead and we'll do the opposite of a compliment sandwich. So
yeah,
John, with you being the guest, you can go first, and then Maria can go in with the middle part of the compliments.
Okay.
Whoa.
Opposite of the shit. Okay. They took a little bit too long. It was just really boring. John Cena's from Massachusetts, where I'm from, so that's cool. Yeah, I've never been a fan of The Miz. I liked him on The Real World. I respect him. Again, I respect every single person that I'm talking about. And then John Cena is the same thing. Like, cool. John Cena's cool, but again, this was kind of the reason why I stopped watching wrestling, was because I was getting kind of burnt out of like shit like this match. I can't say anything positive. So go ahead. The reverse positive sandwich.
John Cena's intro, the choir, was awesome.
Okay.
I didn't think we could top like any of John Cena's introductions. The Miz, which is misfortunate, doesn't get a great introduction here. Whatever, he's a heel, right? But John Cena's introduction and that choir, I did not have an opportunity to look up the singers, but did they do it? They were amazing singers. Oh my goodness. And then I don't know if it's like one of the main vocalists was so good. It was the best part of this match was the introduction to John Cena.
I mean, you ain't wrong. You're not wrong. Your points are always valid. Just
so 15 minutes and 21 seconds. This match does go for a while. There's definitely good spots. We get his 5-knuckle shuffle. We get them outside of the ring. They're much more, I don't want to say like brawlers, but I like their moves during this match. It was a solid match and definitely a recommended match for me. Was I happy with the finish? I wasn't.
The first finish or the second finish?
The second finish. Okay. I think the Miz could have won a little bit cleaner, a little bit better. We could have got like a good wrap up for him. That was kind of a failure for me, but otherwise I thought it was a good match. What about you?
Yeah, I do not recommend any person go out here and watch this match.
Not even to see The Rock?
I mean, if you want to see The Rock, then you can fast forward to the end. Yeah, but I thought this match did a great disservice to the way these guys probably work. So
yes,
we have the Miz out here, and yes, he's still growing into his wrestling like career, but he have a put up against John Cena. And then John Cena is not like the greatest mat person here. And first thing happens here, right off like first few seconds of the match, we have him in a tie-up.
Right.
So if we get these guys in the tie-up, we're already trying to predict that this match, yes, it is going to go a little bit long, at least 15 minutes, which if the timer is right here and it's not including The Rock coming in afterwards, is already going to be too long for this match. Like over the years over WrestleMania, Vince has been trying to like get the Cena over as more of a mat tactician, and that's why we've had John Cena tap out HBK and Triple H to that STFU. And I just like he's still very limited as far as like the moves, as far as being able to sell them and have someone else to actually, help him push and get those over with the crowd, in my opinion.
I agree.
And these are like two pretty much contrasting styles. We have The Miz, who can pull off some of those moves. He is kind of more agile, obviously, than John Cena, but you can't have him start any type of mat tacticianal type of matches like this. So, and then you have this false finish where you have them for some reason out and about to be counted out. The match isn't a count out technically, but hold on. The Rock comes down, and while The Rock is already going to make an announcement that he's probably going to restart the match, we get another Apple Trilline thing, and it's the Raw anonymous general manager, which The Rock is going to read just like Michael Cole is, and I quote, blah, blah, blah. And The Rock says, you know what, I'm not going to read this, but essentially he's going to restart the match because we can't have a WrestleMania end in a double count out. And the match is restarting. John Cena sees his opportunity. He's trying to throw The Miz back into the ring and it's trying to give him the attitude adjustment. The Miz is holding on to the ropes. He goes to the other side. John Cena punches him. He, for some reason, turns around on his own volition and takes the rock bottom, and there's a new no DQ match, and then the Miz wins and retains. Now, this I did not like, in particular, the way it ended. I didn't mind that the Rock interfered, but Vince had this whole thing booked where we're basically building a match between the Rock and John Cena a year in advance.
Mm-hmm.
And because he's booking this match a year in advance, he's pretty much shitting on this match.
Right.
Like, this match is just like it really doesn't matter if the Miz would have lost or retained here, because it has nothing to do with what's going to be the main event for next year, which is The Rock versus John Cena. And I just didn't like it because it's very insulting.
I agree. Because I'm like, yo, it's The Rock and John Cena. You don't need a year to build them up. Like, you don't. You don't.
That's true.
And that's, yeah. But, like, I hated this match. I watched about, on the recap, I got maybe like 15 seconds in, and I said, I've watched enough. I remember. But, yeah, it's coming from a person who's practically watched wrestling my whole life. Like, this, don't watch this match.
I feel like don't watch this.
Yeah, I'm with it, just because like you had these guys go for that far, and then you give like no type of finish, but you're like, oh, we're gonna give you a finish, but it's still not a definitive finish because you still have The Rock interfering with the match. So it's like it feels like it gives no respect to the people working this match. What about you? Fresh pair of eyes.
I told you I enjoyed it.
But you recommended?
I still recommend it.
Okay.
The ending sucked for me. That second ending. But as far as watching it for like a new person coming in, I'd say watch it. Again, the introduction was pretty awesome for John Cena. I enjoy watching John Cena. Like you said, do they need a whole year of build up for a storyline? No, they don't. But I enjoyed watching the match. So that's what I have.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right. And with this,
You all didn't talk about seeing Mae Young with The Rock. They
yeah,
there
that
was like a little
tidbit.
vignette.
Yeah, the vignette of
John's over it. Are you over seeing Mae Young?
I mean, she's fine, but yeah, it just felt so forced. And again, like this is the biggest WrestleMania. Why? Because The Rock is back. Like again, at the time, I was all for that shit, but again, watching it now, I'm like, this could have been a fucking episode of Raw.
That's what I felt like.
It really could have been. Like it's crazy. There are big moments that happen, but on the whole, like looking at the whole pay-per-view, this was just a Monday Night Raw.
I think the stage was pretty awesome though.
Oh yes,
I remember. So that was pretty.
Yeah, and they kept
impressive.
the whole decoration like in the previous one. I'm not sure if you ever watched WrestleMania 26.
I mean, I'm sure I have. I can't remember right now.
They have this thing in the middle, kind of like a screen that drops down, but it's like one big circle.
Oh yeah,
They kept this, and it's like a cube.
The cube this time. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, so I thought that was a pretty cool thing that they kept as part of the stage.
Yeah, that was fire.
As far as this WrestleMania is concerned, I only have one match that I would recommend.
Only one.
And then one if you're a fan, if for some reason have not watched anything newer of CM Punk, or if you've only watched the newer stuff of CM Punk, go back and watch this match of Randy Orton versus CM Punk. Do you have any other tidbits before we get into?
No, I don't.
All right. So since we are on our journey of WrestleMania that we will be attending live, John, we've been kind of like speculating and adding our own thoughts about how the card is shaping up of WrestleMania Night 1 and Night 2. So we had some interesting things happen in Raw and SmackDown. So we finally got confirmation that we're going to have a brother versus brother match. We're going to have Jimmy and Jay facing off here at WrestleMania. What do you think about that?
I think it's pretty awesome. It's not the first brother and brother match that we've seen, but I'm looking forward to it. What about you guys? Are you sad?
No, actually, I don't. I don't watch I don't watch Raw or SmackDown. I read the results because I just don't have time to do it. Is this the first legitimate brother versus brother match?
It's the third one. The first one was in WrestleMania 10 with Bret and Owen.
Oh shit, that's right. Okay. Oh. All right. But yeah, I like the Usos. They're cool.
And then we had WrestleMania 25 where we had the Hardys facing off each other.
Damn, that's right. Okay, because I was thinking like I remember like Kane and Undertaker, but I'm like they're not really brothers, so that's right.
Mm-hmm.
Hell yeah. I like the Usos, man. Those are Rikishi's boys, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All three of them right now. Well, even though Solo does not have the Uso name attached to him,
right.
Also one of the brothers of Jimmy and Jay.
Is he the youngest brother?
Yes, he is one. I don't think he's like the youngest. I think he has like one more son, but I don't think he's wrestling with the company right now.
Okay.
We have that. We have all the tag team matches for as far as the Raw side. That 6-pack ladder match, which I do not like. What do you think about that, John? About the 6-pack ladder match for the tag titles?
Give me all the fucking ladders.
Really?
Anytime, yes. Any type of super violent match, or there's the potential to be like a crazy spot. I love ladder matches. This was a couple years ago, but I remember there was like a Kofi Kingston. Maybe it was a Money in the Bank match, and I was like, "Oh shit, this boy is nasty." And that kind of got me back into wrestling. It was a ladder match. It really was. So I'm all for it. I'm all for it.
Like ladder match.
It definitely had to be one of the ladder matches, the Money in the Bank ladder matches. We haven't had that. Well, I think he got retired last WrestleMania 26.
Because it became its own independent event, right?
Yeah, after
that's what it was. Yes, that was the Money in the Bank event. You're right.
So we got like 3 more tag teams, which I don't like the way this went. So for Raw, all you had to have was one single match. You win that match, and you're already put in the 6-pack. So we had DIY winning, the Awesome Truth winning, and the New Day. So those 3 teams plus the Judgment Day, which are the Unified Tag Team Champions, those four teams have been announced. But SmackDown, they had to have some type of bracket style elimination thing going. So right now, with that, we still have the Street Profits that it could end up possibly winning, and then you have some other team. But what whoever wins from that one takes up the final spot. But that only leaves us with 5. So then we have like a surprise battle royal or something where all like a scramble where all the remaining losing teams are gonna vie for that last final spot. And I just think that they just thought that this tag team was like gonna be like they're like someone reminded them that they have tag team titles, and they're like, well, what are we gonna do? We had like you had to give them a match, and they're like, well, let's just do this, and they just dragged this tournament style thing just to have them out there. So
Yeah.
I don't like the way it's set up. Like, do I mind it being a 6-man one? No, but I think it might be too much having the 6 teams. But I don't really think that it's gonna be. I don't think Judgment Day retains actually. So it's gonna be one of these newer teams probably. But none of these teams are hot right now that I'm looking at. So I can't really see. So they'll have to see how it goes. What I do want to keep an eye, it's a TBD. I can't make any predictions now, but I do like that. I think they're working an angle on Raw where they're trying to get Chad Gable to probably make this a 3-way between Sami Zayn and Gunther.
Oh, okay.
Oh, Gunther, that's my guy, bro. Nobody got chops like Gunther. Holy shit, he be beating people up. I love it.
Yeah,
that's true.
So that's gonna be interesting if they do end up making it a 3-way, because for sure Gunther is gonna drop the belt, and it's probably, I think most of the majority of the fans are on team Chad Gable that he should get that run. They should have pulled that trigger a little bit ago, but I think this whole thing with Hunter booking, he's kind of been like a little bit late to the party and pulling the trigger in some things for me. Like with not having Chad actually beat Gunther a little bit earlier for that belt, you could have freed up Gunther to challenge for maybe one of the other belts,
right?
But and then my other thought is I still don't think that Cody should have won last year against Roman.
I don't think so either. Yeah, I'm with you on that.
And
people were pissed, but no.
Yeah, so I'm still on that, and I still don't think he should win this year. But I think the person that should have done it should have been Sami Zayn.
Yeah.
As much as it would have been like, it was he's not gonna last. He's not gonna. That was the whole point in my head. Like, the story was written. Sammy was kind of bringing down the bloodline. He had already turned Jimmy, and he was bringing in and like, kind of breaking it down. And then you could have transitioned into another champion. Like, it would have sucked because it was a transitional champion. But the whole point of the storyline was for the bloodline to come down. And now we have Cody, who now is kind of like supposed to bring down the bloodline, but he had his chance, and it's not about it's finishing the story and finishing the story. That whole thing is just story was finished. You lost,
right? Right. Damn it.
So nothing else happened on Raw that I could point out. Now on SmackDown, we might have gotten a little bit more of a push on who might be challenging the women's tag team titles of Asuka and Kairi Sane. We had Bianca actually come out and do the save for Bayley when Bayley was getting attacked by Damage Control. Naomi was going out there and having a match with Io, and then eventually, they were kind of started to beat down Naomi. And when Bailey goes out there to help her, they're still getting their butts kicked. And then Bianca Belair comes out there, and even though she hesitated because of the whole thing where Bailey had helped screw her when she came back with Damage Control when she lost her belt. So
well, yeah.
So if they eventually made that thing, and I think it'll be cool that she's gonna get tag titles, because the tag titles need, like, I don't mind that it's been Asuka and Kyrie, but they've just been like hovering and not really doing anything. It's like on some type of holding pattern until they're figuring it out, which is one of the other things, like just like the male ones, the female ones, just
right.
And it could have been just because of the injuries that we
had.
But
fucking people, knees and things. God, yeah. That's an interesting point, because I remember tag teams were huge up until like the mid '90s, and then they kind of became like an afterthought. And recently, it's like you said, it's there, but they still don't know what to kind of do. But I think those girls want it. That the titles need to be elevated, and they need to be on people that everybody cares about. Not like, oh yeah, my favorite wrestler, she's a tag team champ, but she's not everybody's favorite wrestler. You know what I mean? So you need to have those people with those belts to elevate it, and then it can go to anybody else, because it's an elevated belt at that point. You can create all types of storylines and what have you, betrayals and all that good shit. So they'll get it together, man. They'll get it. But when you have the most superstars on the planet for 30 years without any competition, you don't need tag teams.
Yeah. And then one more thing, I think, on the SmackDown portion is we got the announcement of Jade Cargill. She finally made a decision that she's going to be coming to SmackDown. Now, some people might shit on me for saying this, but like, they held this announcement out for like 2 months.
For a long time.
And I'm like, you knew what you were going to do with her. Like, and you haven't put her on NXT. Like, they put some talents on NXT, like, for example, Baron Corbin. And then I forget the other guy that was in the Brawling Brutes that got taken back down. But was it Riddick Moss or somebody else they got? But they're not afraid to, I guess, like in an NBA or like a Major League Baseball team, to send you back down to the developmental. So why couldn't they just have her do a couple of matches at NXT? And then
I watch AEW faithfully. That's the time that I have for wrestling. Everything else I read and I watch recaps. I knew the minute she joined AEW, I'm like, she's going to WWE. And what I thought was they were going to put her exclusively in NXT so she can learn the WWE style of wrestling and all that shit. Because even in AEW, like, she's a beast, but she's not. You can tell she's still green, So I thought they would have just threw her into NXT, let her do her thing, demolish the whole roster there, get that practice, and then get called up to the main roster. But I mean, I don't run that company, so we'll see how it works out.
It's true.
Oh. Yeah. All right. So that's the latest tidbits here. I probably just need to see one more week of programming before hopefully they fill out this card a little bit more, so we can do a breakdown. Hopefully by next week on what we predict to win and things like that. But you never know.
And then
John, do you have anything to promote? And
oh, sure. You can check out my wrestling podcast. I do a regular sports podcast. It's all on the same channel, the Minority Sports Report. I do unboxings, cards, and all types of crazy shit. It's all sports related. Just like this pack of WWE cards I'm about to open up.
Oh,
I'm so excited.
Let's see. Let's see what we got. 87.
1987.
1987. The gum is stuck to the
car.
Oh
my god. Are the cars stuck together too? Don't do it.
The superstars speak. I can't even read it. It's faded. Hold on.
How does it fade inside of a package?
Because the gum was stuck to it, so I can't read the back of the card.
Okay.
But
George the Animal Steel.
George the Animal Steel.
That's awesome.
I don't even know what this says, bro. Hold on.
I think that is.
What is that? Is that?
I think that's King Harley Race.
Hold on. Let me see if it says it. Oh, it's Bobby the Brain Heenan forces an opponent to bow to King Harley.
Wow.
Yeah.
After he has won, all losers must bow to the king.
Oh, that's when they. I think when they had the match with the Junkyard Dog.
Mm-hmm.
And
JYD.
yeah, and he forced them.
Fuck, this is so blurry. I can't.
Yeah.
Damn it! It's the great Kamala, and who's he hitting? It doesn't say he's leaning over.
Okay.
Oh God, this is crazy. I was just expecting like not this.
That's pretty impressive.
Let's see. Oh shit, Mr. Fiji.
That's pretty awesome.
Mr. Fuji.
Mr. Fuji.
Right,
who we got else here? Hercules and Bobby the Brain Heenan.
Wow, that's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Trying to get it to focus.
Oh,
it focused. There we go.
I'm impressed.
Yeah.
This is a really good deck.
Oh shit! Is this Coco Beware?
Let's see.
Oh shit! It is.
Oh.
Hold on. Let's get the focus.
A
Focus.
bit more.
Come on, focus.
Yes, it is.
Wow.
Coco.
Nobody cares about this guy. He needs to go away. It's Hulk Hogan.
It's Hulk Hogan.
Oh.
I don't.
Problematic Hulk Hogan.
Problematic Hulk again. Look at those Hulk titties.
I'm sure people would want to buy them from you.
Yeah.
Is this fucking? It
Locking
is.
people in his restaurant, Hulk Hogan.
Tito Santana.
No way.
Oh, the dragon.
Yeah,
oh shit! And British Bulldog.
Oh my God!
This good old Davey Boy Smith.
Yeah, he was
Damn.
British Bulldogs. Yeah,
that's a good set.
No.
Does it taste gross?
No, it actually tastes really good.
Disintegrated.
I can imagine that it tastes pretty good. I mean, gum is gum, right? So
just tastes like old ass candy.
Like, oh, this gum is dusty.
Well, what isn't dusty is the Minority Sports Report. If you want to watch these guys, him and his co-host Skame 666, and who's the other guy? I forget.
Julian C. Mitchell.
Julian C. Mitchell.
That's his name.
Yeah, break down all your sports events for the past week. Go ahead and follow these guys at the TMS Report on YouTube and X, even though they're not very active because we all hate X and Threads.
For real.
I don't like Threads. It's been hard for me to get a handle of Threads.
Yeah, we let Julian do Threads. I do Instagram mostly, and then Skame does kind of whatever.
And if you enjoyed John's antics on this show and you want to follow anything he might post on here, you can follow him at The Beatnik, and that's the THE, the numbers 13, and then Eatnik right there. And thank you very much for joining us. Our next show will be
Yes. Thank you for joining us. This has been awesome.
Our next show will be still a live one. I think for WrestleMania week, we might put up a pre-recorded one, but we will be breaking down WrestleMania 28.
28, man.
Yes. And we will be joined by Wayne Semi-Dry Chicken from Podcast Championship Wrestling. This episode will be going up next Saturday.
What time?
March 30th.
Because John, I don't remember.
I think we're going to be doing this at 4 p.m. Central.
I was going to just DM you, like, when is this coming out?
Yeah. And if you are wanting to just listen to us on taking us with you on the drive, we are available audio. The audio will be going up tomorrow.
Take us with you.
And we're available on Apple, Spreaker, YouTube Music, Spotify, anywhere where you're. Yeah. All
Audible.
Yeah, and if we are not on your preferred podcast app, let us know. Send us an email at revisitingmania@gmail.com.
Yeah, if you want to fall asleep to us, listen to us before you go to sleep.
Enjoy the rest of your day, and
bye.
See ya.
Peace. This is awesome. Thank you, guys.